Hey, welcome back to part 3 where we're going to be cloning an accounting system, in this case QuickBooks. So let's get started straight away, and we'll try and keep this a little bit shorter in smaller steps, shall we say. So the first thing we're going to do, because I want this app now to look really nice, is we're going to add our logo in. Now this logo is one that I've made for SureBooks, and I've created using a great service which is called Looker, which is something that you might want to try if it's of interest to you. So I've designed like a logo. As you can see, I did spend long on it, maybe about 2.5 days. But no, seriously, it's a great way to design your logo, and what we're going to do is we're going to use it. Just as a disclaimer, it's a free service to use Looker to design your logo, but then if you want to download like really high-res images and all your social media images and all that type of thing, the kind of quality that you'll need, let's say printing on t-shirts and things like that, then you do have to pay for it at that point. As this is a not-for-profit app that I'm building, I'm just building a clone. I haven't done that, so I've designed it on here, but I haven't paid for it. That's a disclaimer. If I did decide at any point, let's say I decided to go a step further and say, hey, let's see if we can do an experiment to see we can commercialize this, which I have no plans for right now, full disclaimer, then I will obviously buy it. But for now, I've just sort of taken a bit of a screenshot, so just so you're aware of that. And so what we can do there is in our image, we've got it the wrong size actually. First of all, let me pop the image in there. So let's set the width in there. So it's a pixel 141 by 32, and there we go. Now I think that looks lovely. Okay, so right, we're looking like we've actually got our own SaaS app right now, so sorry, I get a little bit nerdy out with these things. Okie coke, so that's in there. So now we need to do, let's do our images along the top. So we've already planted the images in. What we haven't done is specified the logo, the actual image themselves. So to do that, what we're going to do, like I say, we're using the Iconify element. So the way that Iconify works is that you put the name from the Iconify library, you put the name of the icon in here, and then it shows it up basically. So let's name this. So I'm gonna, when it comes to icons, I just put IC, and then I'll just put, let's put nav menu in there. Okay, so to get the way that Iconify works is you basically go to Iconify.design, and by default Iconify offers over 100,000 icons from more than 100 open source icon sets. And this is what I really like about Iconify, is that we can sort of pick whichever one we want. So tend to pick one that's got a lot of icons in there, like the material icons has got 10,000, nearly 11,000, which will mean we've got a lot of choice when selecting them. Teeny icons, you've got Ionicons, which you can also get with a plugin in Bubble. So I tend to look for the ones that have got a lot of icons in there. I'm going to steer clear of the Google material because everybody's using those. So let's have a look at that. This one has got 2,000. If you look at this one, the Fluent UI system from Microsoft has got like nearly 12,000, so that's interesting. Let's see what else we've got. So the really big ones in terms of your choice that you've got are the Fluent system icons, and someone's got material icons, which is 7,099. That's got 11,000, right? So unless there's something that you really specifically like, then you know it's up to you. So let's pick one that's got, say, a couple of thousand, but it's probably going to have something that we like in there. So let's try this one, and you can search the whole library or you can just search the ones that are here. So this one we need like a menu, right? So not really. Let's see, hamburger. There we go. Right, that's one. So what you do, you select it, and it gives you the name of the icon that you can choose. Okay, and we just copy that from there, and back in our app we can then pick that up and select it in there. Now it doesn't display the icon at design time, only at runtime. Okay, so what we need to do now then, we've obviously need to specify a color. So back in QuickBooks, let's have a look at the color. So the menu color is going to be the same as this, I would imagine. So let's have a look at that. Let's pick our color, which will be in styles. Okay, where are we? So it'll be that one. Let's go back to design, and the color will be, yeah. Okay, so what happens in QuickBooks when you hover over it? The color stays the same, but kind of we've got a huge amount of space around it. Let's go back, and in here, now it looks like this, we're going to need to put this in a group because we need like a padding around it. So I'm just going to right click, and I'm going to say it's going to be in a column container. It doesn't make any odds because it's the only element that's going to be contained in this group, but we'll say group elements in a column container. It won't make too much, but what's going to happen there is we'll name this, and we'll just say, what did we call the image? We called it nav menu. So we'll call the group the same. Where are we? It's on our container, in our header, left header, and let's have a look. So we're going to say G nav menu, and what we'll have to do then is to make the padding, and I think it's going to be like 12 or something all the way around. Okay, the idea is that when you hover only on this, that the group will change. I take it, like if you don't, no, if you hover anywhere near it, it's going to do that. So if we hover over the group, then we want the group's color to change. So our icon's all set, we've got the color with that, it's the group that we need to set. So on the conditional, let's just remove the style because I don't trust what's going on when I can't see the style, and I still need to clear the styles. So in the conditional, let's just say that when this group is hovered, that the background style is then going to become a flat color, and then the background color is then going to be the color that we've picked up, or the one that we're going to use from here. We already picked it up once, but we've been faffing around since then. I think that's too dark actually. I think it's going to be more like this color that we've got in here for an unselected option. So let's check. Let's pick up this text, and we need to edit the style to get at the color. Okay, yeah, that's quite a light color that we can use. Okay, so let's just do that, and we can then set the color here. Notice, by the way, that when we're doing this, we do have the option to insert dynamic data, so we can insert a dynamic color, which basically enables us to do theming, which is something that we're going to touch on in a while. But for now, let's just make sure that that works. And yeah, okay, let's see what we get. Yeah, we get our beautiful hamburger, and we get this. So back in QuickBooks, if we take a look at this menu, you can see it's actually flush. If we have a look at ours isn't flush at the minute because we've put padding on the groups around it. So this seems to be something that I've noticed with QuickBooks, is that it doesn't like the padding around it. Okay, fair enough. So what we need to do then in here, first of all, let's check the group. And what I've noticed is we're not actually setting it to be a specific width and height. So if we have a look at our icon, let's have a look at this one. Sorry, my dogs are playing again. So let's say that we say this to width and height is 28 of the icon. So okay, well, let's say 26. Width and height is 26 of the burger icon, and we've got a border of 12 around it. So what we can actually see that it's not going to be flush, and that's because in our main nav header we've actually got some padding. So what we'll do is we'll remove all the padding off that. We have to if we're going to get our things flush against the top and the sides, as QuickBooks does. But also on this group, what we're going to need to do then is we want to set the height to 100% because we want it to fill the available space. And width wise, the 26 plus the 12, so that's going to be 40. Okay, because we can't just set it as a percentage because that's going to fill a board. So we'll just, that's a fixed width of 40. No, it's not quite, it's 24, we've got another 12, so 52. Okay, and because we removed the padding here, we should get the effect. If you look, it is quite flush now against the top. So let's give that a go. Yeah, okay, that does seem to work. I'll just pause this and let the dogs have a play, or while I try and get the toy off them. Right, just a couple of things. The colour looks a little bit too dark, and also if we look, this isn't kind of centered with it. So let's have a look at that. The colour. So the colour of the group is going to be, on our condition, when it's hovered, is going to be this colour instead. And that should make it a little bit lighter. Let me just have a look at what's going on with this. We probably need to make this 100% for it to center properly. And then what we can do then is just to say, okay, we're going to need to edit the style and say center text vertically. Hopefully that won't affect anything else at the moment. Right, okay, that looks more like it. Let's give that a go. Hasn't really resolved it, but our menu is just as, it looks exactly the same colour as QuickBooks, so that's good. This one still isn't centered. I don't know if it's the image or this, I'm not sure. Let's have a look at this. Okay, maybe we need to set this at a different level. Let's just set it to what it should be. Okay, yeah, I don't, obviously that's not, sorry, 30%. Let's just set it to 30 pixels. Let's say 24. Yeah, I don't think the issue is actually with the label. I think it's with this. Let me have a look. Everything is set to min height of 100%. We've got 12, 12 and 12 all round. The image is square at 26 by 26. No. Okay. So is something, it must be just the positioning of this, the actual image itself within the image element, because, so we can extend the padding maybe from the top to, let's say, 13. I don't know whether that will make any difference, because I don't think we're going to be able to change the centering of the text. We can only, that looks a bit better, doesn't it? And it doesn't really make, okay, I mean, we can live with that, just putting one extra pixel on the padding That looks pretty good to me. Okay. And actually we can fully afford to increase the size of this, the text on this. So let's have a look at that. Again, we're going to need to edit the style for this. I think it's the only component that's affected by it. So let's say we're going to go to 15 with this. Okay, 15 pixels. Let's give that a whirl. It might not actually show. Yes, it does. Okay, so yeah, I think that's more like it. I should say this probably under my breath, but I actually think ours looks a bit better. It's dropped again, actually, hasn't it? It looks like it's dropped again. So I'm being a bit pernickety, I know I am, but let's just see if this makes any difference to drop this another. Sorry, in which way is it? Am I being pernickety? So now, yeah, okay. Let's try it anyway. We can but try. Okay, and as long as it doesn't look odd in other ways, we can deal with it. Okay, fine. It doesn't look odd, and it's pretty level. Yeah, okay. It just must be the way that the image is actually, the image within the image element is being displayed. So then we now need to press ahead with doing these options over here, which are these in QuickBooks, and they operate pretty much the same way in terms of the background. So a quick and easy way that we can sort of get all this going. So because we've styled our group in here with all of our padding at the bottom and everything, all of the dimensions of it, is what we can do then is we can actually create a new style from all the settings in that particular group. So we'll call this nav options as a style, and then all we need to do then with here is to start adding these into their own group. So first of all, let's make sure that we name them. So that's IC nav menu. So that's called, this one's called IC nav help, I believe. IC nav help. It is, yeah. Okay, we'll sort the caption out in a bit. But what we can then do is right click and we can select group elements in a column container to put it in a group. And then what we can do is, all we have to do then is we'll name the group nav help. Okay, and all we've got to do then is for the style is just select that style that we've just created. Okay, and that does exactly the same thing as this does here. So we need an icon for this, so let's go back into Iconify and get another icon, which is for, this time it's for help, which looks more like it. The question mark in a circle looks great, so let's select that and just copy the name of the icon. Okay, and all we need to do is to drop that into the name. One of the things that we will need to do is to copy the color from the other one. We don't actually, the Iconify doesn't support styles, so we are going to need to just pick it up for each one. Okay, and let's give that a whirl and make sure that that works before we crack on with the others. Yeah. Okay, brilliant, beautiful. Right, so what we can do then, because we've only got these icons in here, they're just blank icons. There's no point. We may as well copy everything that we've got from this group and just use that. So I'm gonna delete all of these that are just there as placeholders. Okay, and pick this group, and then we can sort of copy it a few times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we've probably run out of space, so we need to probably get it the containing group and just change its setting. So it's set to 260. Let's say we set it to 300, gives us a bit more space. Probably a bit more actually. Let's get it to say 340. Okay, right. Because we've got this is set to, so if we're looking at this on a proper desktop, that wouldn't happen. So we've just got this set to probably to too big, to be honest with you. So let's just set that to 50% and we're good to go then. We can deal with this responsively when the time comes, but at the minute we just want to get this working, displaying right on the desktop. So I take it that's still our nav help. Yeah, okay. So this time, so we've got everything right, we just got to start to name it. Now this is one of the things, is that sometimes, so what's next? I think it's search. Yeah, search. So let's do that one. Nav search. And okay, I think these ones actually, they need to be 26. So I've probably copied them too soon. I should have checked. 26 by 26, just to be in line with what we've done over here. 26. What's this one? Why has that one done that? 12. Okay, I didn't put the 6 in. Okay, that's right, is it? That's okay. Right, 26 by 26. And 26 by 26. Right, okay, so I've named that LNAV search, so let's just copy that and call that G nav search. Okay, let's give that a whirl and make sure that does the same as what we expected it to do. Yeah, no. Oh, I need to get the icon, of course I do. Okay, right, so let's just do a search on here. Search. Will that do? Will that do, do you think? Yeah, why not? It looks okay, doesn't it? Okay, so go back in our app and we will paste this in. Search. Let's give that the proverbial whirl. Yep, okay, so it doesn't look like QuickBooks, but then again, you know, we've got to give it our own identity, haven't we, really? I think it looks quite user-friendly, that one. Okay, so let's have a look at, and again, we've got all of our hovers. Have we got a space at the top? You know what I'm like. We might have a space at the top. Let's have a look at that. Okay, why have we got a space at the top? It's because we've not set the groups. Yeah, it's because we haven't set the. I mean, we copied the style. We didn't copy all of the dimensions. So it's 52 fixed width and 100%. So let's do that. We should have checked that before we started to copy, really, shouldn't we? So it's 52 fixed width and 100% height. Okay, and the same with this. Yeah. Pick the thing. So what did we say again? Sorry. 52 and 100, right? 52 and 100%. Okay, and 52 and 100%. There we go. all to make sure that we're pixel perfect at the top. There you go. If you're going to do it right. Okay, and then we should see that that will work quite happily. Okay, so yeah, we're all good. Right, back into our well, what have we got next? Now we've got our notifications, so let's see if we can pick up an icon for that. Notify. Nope, let's say alert. Let's give it a bell. Nope. Mail. That's not quite what we're looking for. What did we get? I don't know, that's kind of as close as it's going to be, but you wouldn't really generally, what's that one called? A notice. You could argue that that's it. Let me have a look. This is the trouble when you're picking one that hasn't got like 10,000 options, is that you always come across it. You would imagine that they would have had a bell symbol. Let's see if they got anything that's YouTube. No, because I'm just wondering if they had the YouTube bell. No. Okay. Right, we're going to have to pick this one, otherwise we'll be here all year. The other thing is, as well, is if you do start pulling icons from other icon sets, it's going to load, like you've got this bit here and then a colon, then the name of the icon. It's going to start pulling in the other library in its entirety. So just be aware that there's the potential for that. Okay, so you don't want to have too many libraries involved in there. If you need to pick more than one, then just limit it. You know, just limit in what you're doing. Okay, so this is there. Right. Pop that in there. Okay, we're going to need to name that to nav notify. Okay, and same with the group, nav notify. Okay, and the next one is going to be our settings. We should definitely have a settings icon we can use. Okay. Okay, there we go, no problem for this one. And copy this over. You can't tell me that this isn't a lot of fun. Okay, so we just need to name it for settings. Same with the group, nav settings, and our last one is right. This is our icon. So this is different. We're going to need to grab that dynamically. So let's just look at what we've got first before we move on to that one. Okay, all good. Yeah, I like it. To be honest with you, as it's turned out, there's probably a lot more space than we need, so we can probably cut that short a little bit. So where did we have our thing? There we go. So probably I'd say 280 might do it. Let's give that a go, because there is big space between the icons. There just isn't that much space when you actually, let's just set it to 390 just to give them a little bit of space, because there actually isn't any gap. In fact, just let's have a look at that. So yeah, actually what QuickBooks does is it keeps them very, very flush. So actually having them at like 280, as long as they don't, oh sorry, I put 380, as long as they don't overlap, then it actually QuickBooks does them flush. So 275, 270. Right, we'll keep it at 270, so that's there. Let's give that a whirl. They are a little bit spaced out. That's more like it, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so they're sort of flush. You'll never see that they're flush because you're only hovering over one at a time. Okay, so we're doing well. Let's sort this one out. In this video, where I want to get to is to put the user icon on there, and I want to get this to work so that we can open and close the menu. So that's where we're going to get to with this video. So let's have a look at how we would do this one. So there's a couple of things here. Is that if we actually are not going to use an Iconify here in this, which is a bit odd, because what we need is an image of the user. Because if you can imagine, if they've put a logo in on their account, then it means that we want to use that, we want to display it. But if they don't, then we simply just want to display, as in here where I've not uploaded my user image, just put like a circle with the first line of the company that they've set up. Okay, so, or the first name of the user, actually, we could use the user. So this is the first time we're going to hit the data, and we're only going to be using the user, which is a predefined data typing bubble anyway, so we're not setting anything up right now beyond that. So we're just gonna let's say we're gonna give the user a first name, okay, and we will give the user a last name, text, and we will also set up a, what do we call it, a logo, an image, just call it an image, user image, and this one is going to be of type image, okay. So the user will ultimately be able to upload their own image into the system, okay. So in here, what we really want to do is actually want to get rid of that, okay, and what we want to drop in there is an image element, okay. So let's just drop that in there. We have to set this at the same, we're gonna at the same dimensions as what we had the other one, to 26. So because it's square, I think we can keep the aspect weight ratio in there. We can. So let's just name this image user. Now the thing is that it can either be displayed the image user if the user's actually has an image, otherwise it's going to do this. So there's a couple of things we need to do with that. There is that it's not going to be visible on page load because we just don't know. We need to check for it when it loads. So we can do that, and we need it to collapse when hidden. So in other words, it's just going to move out of the way. It's not going to take up any space, right? Horizontal alignment, we can certainly center that. In terms of this, it's going to be a dynamic image, so we're going to insert dynamic data, and this is going to be current users image, okay. And let's have a look at the, right, we're going to just do that. Now what people like to do with this is to put like a rounding on it, so we can sort of say there's no, we can put like a little bit of a border on there, and we can say, we can make it lighter than that actually, okay. Let's just do this, and the roundness has to be, it has to be more than half of what the actual image is. So it's only 26, so as long as it's 13 or more, we'll set it to 15, and that will make it a perfectly round circle, as you can see. Now I'm tempted to make it a bit bigger, but I don't want it to get out of alignment with this. How are they doing it? Yeah, it looks smaller, okay. Right, so then we need a conditional because we've set it so that the element is not visible on page load. So when is it going to be visible? So we need to define a conditional, and what we can do is to say that the current user's image is not empty. So when there is an entry in the user's image field, then we're going to display the actual image of the user that they've uploaded. Otherwise, we need to put a different control on there. And this time what we're going to do, we're going to put a group, and we're going to put just one character inside it. So what we need to do then, and again we need to be careful, it needs to be 26 by 26. So let's have a look at the group, and we'll just place it quickly inside of that. Let's have a look. So it has to be, so what we'll do is on here we can then set the other icon that we've loaded up in, what's the help copy? Have we not renamed it? We haven't renamed this, so we need to do that. So I'll just say nav user and image user, and we will say G user no image, okay, just so that we know what it is. We'll put a space in there, doesn't matter. Okay, so what we need to do then within this group is we then need to, sorry, I've just selected that off. So we're going to say that is, we're just going to set it to a row. It doesn't really make any odds, and it's a fixed width, and it's only 26, and it's a fixed height, 26. Okay, and what we can do as well is we can hide the image so that we're not playing around, we're not having to deal with it there. So now we can just solely focus on what we're doing here. So what we can do then is, in our appearance, we have to, again, we need to remove the style before we can do anything. And what we can do there is the roundness, again, we can set that to, as long as it's more than 26, we can set it to 15. Okay, and then we can stick a border on there as well. It's a solid of what, yeah, what border did we have on the image? Let's have a look at that. Okay, yeah, just a very light border around it. We don't want black, that's for sure. Right, okay, there we go. Okay, let's hide that again. Right, okay, and then we can set the background colour to be a flat colour, and they've got like a, I'm not going to do it exactly, but they've got like a blue colour, so let's follow suit. Let's say with this one, and then we'll just sort of hook it up there, so it's a very, okay, and then what we can do then is what we then want to put a text in there to display. Okay, so what we want to do then is, let's just put a character in the same as what we've got at the minute for G, and we want that to be centered, but we need to just set this. So we're going to set this, let's say it's 24 by 24, and it's a fixed height and a fixed container alignment, horizontal alignment. Okay, so we need to just get the, we need to find a way to get the text in there. So what we will do, sorry, I need to select this, the text. So okay, so we've got a style on there, we didn't want it, so we're going to center it in there, and we obviously, that's got to be inter, hasn't it? That's got to be inter, and we're going to make it fairly bold. Let's go all the way to 700, why not? And then we're gonna, how big can we get it? Can we get it to 8? We can get it to 8, I think, inside that circle. We obviously want the colour to be white so that it's very distinctive in there, so okay, that's cool. Maybe it's too bold, I don't know. So we'll just call that text user no image. It selected the wrong one for me. Okay, so T, what did we say? User no image. Okay. I don't know why that's disappeared. Let's just give that a go. Let's select it. No image. Just let's bring to the front. I'm not sure why the characters disappeared. Let's give it a go. Yeah, isn't that odd? All I did was change the font size. Or what did I change it to? Let's set it to 14. Let's see if we can get it to reappear. What's gone on? Have I set something silly? Oh, okay, it's popped in again. Great, fantastic. So we won't go all the way to 18. We'll go to 16. Right, and yeah, okay, so that seems to be working now, so let's give that a whirl. Okay, so that's brilliant, we've now got that in there. Okay, it's a little bit more pronounced than that, but I don't really care. Do they have a border around it? No, that's fine. And what we can do then is we obviously then need to make this dynamic. So let's insert this up there. So we can say the current user's first name, right? But we only want the first character. Okay. So if we scroll down here, first of all I'm going to say trimmed, because if there is any spaces at the beginning, we don't just want to pick up a blank space if for whatever reason the user's made an error. And the other thing we want to do then is, if I can grab that, okay. Right, let's just, that's it, truncated 2, and then we can just say 1, okay. Right, so we can just say truncated to 1, and also we want to make sure that it is sort of uppercase if there is, if it is just for, you know, this is just the kind of thing you do in software, is you've just got to make sure that you're dealing with every case exactly how you want it. Okay, so let's see if that works. So the user, I don't even know if I've got any users in there. Let's have a look. All users. No, I don't have a user. So let's add a user and new entry. Let's just say that, and let's say this is Terry. Davis. Just give it an email. Terry Davis at myco.com. Okay, we're not going to upload an image for him, and we can create that. Okay, and then what we're going to have to do, we'll close this, and then what we have to do then is to say run as him, because otherwise it won't know what user that we're actually putting in there. So let's see if this works. Ta-da! There's Terry there. Good old Tezza. Okay, so that's picking that up dynamically quite well. So where are we? Okay, so now we need to just make sure that the actual image, that if he does upload an image, actually works. So I'm just going to pause this a sec while I go and sort of grab some image or something of somebody's face and upload it. See you in a sec. Okay, so what I've done, I've uploaded an image of Terry. This is actually Terry. No, I'm only joking. I have no clue who this guy is. So we're gonna save that, and a couple of things we need to do first that I completely forgot earlier on, which is, I'm not sure why that's done that again, is I didn't set that the current image is not empty, and I didn't set what condition has to happen. And that is that this element is visible is true, because if it's not visible by default, then I have to set a condition to say when is it visible, and I put the condition but forgot to set the property, which is a major schoolboy error, and I do apologise. The other thing, we're going to need to do the same on here as well, because we need to, at the moment we can't have it on page load collapse when hidden, but we do need a condition. In this case it's the opposite, which is current user's image is empty, and then this element is visible, tick. So in other words, if it's empty, then we show this, otherwise by default it's not visible. Okay, so we'll give this a whirl, and now Terry, our user, has got an image. Let's just see if this actually works. I can't remember whether I was, let's just do it again anyway. Let's just run as Terry. Come on, Tezza. I want to see your face, mate. There we go. There's big Terry there. And he's appearing quite nicely there. So if we were to... So yeah, I mean, it works quite nicely. So let's just make absolutely sure of that by editing him and clearing the image. Okay, and giving... Oh, it's automatic. You see, this is one of the things with Bubble with his data. It's all real time, so that's immediately just changed into that. Right, okay, so we're doing well. I'm just a bit concerned this video has gone on a long time, so I think what we'll do is we'll leave this menu opening and closing till next time, because to be fair, we're getting into workflows with that, and that's probably should be start using workflows in a new video. So thanks for watching again all the way to part 3. I hope you're starting to get there. I hope you're learning a lot from it, and obviously we're sort of getting there, aren't we? We are getting there. We've got some really nice things going on. I'm really chuffed with how it's going. So listen, thanks for watching. See you in the next one, hopefully. Thanks for your time again, and take it easy.